Hi guys, it's Michelle, Deception Bytes, and it is August 2nd, and it's 8:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, we are going to be covering the post from August 1st today and picking up from where we left off in the last video. And now Q has also posted today, so once I've finished this video, then I will be behind again. I have actually read through the post for today, so hoping that I'm able to get that recorded tonight as well, so that I'm not starting out tomorrow behind as well. Now, we've got some interesting things here. I'm sure you guys have already heard little bits and pieces out there, because I know that lots of you listen to several people, and that's a good thing. That's not necessarily negative in the least, because I think it takes more than one to think about all this and to figure it out. Now, I do want to warn you that I'm not on my game tonight all the way. I don't know what the issue is today, but I most certainly have one. So let's get started anyway. Now, this is the first post from August 1st, and Q puts a little clip in here in his post, and it's the United States trends. And number 14 is New Month. Number 15, W.R. Trey Palmer. 16, Quincy Adams. And then 17, well, looky here, QAnon. And why is that? Oh, QAnon, that's getting 119,000 tweets there. And it's an article by The Hill. Trump rally attendees hold up sign linked to conspiracy theory. And what do you think that conspiracy theory is? That's right, it's all of us. It's Q, and you, and me. So, yeah, Q's much more popular than Jennifer Aniston. Well, who would have thought? Now, below that, Q has provided us with just a smattering, a small smattering of examples. So let's go take a look. An example of why perhaps this is trending. This topic is trending. We Are Q. A deranged conspiracy cult leaps from the internet to the crowd at Trump's mega tour. Now, of course, this happened in Tampa, Florida, and we got this guy holding up We Are Q. We had several people with t-shirts on, and then we had the guy with the cutout Q, as well as all sorts of Q signs. So it sparked a little bit of people are taking notice, or sitting up and taking notice and realizing, like, what is this? And there's no need for me to read through all of this, because it would take us until, probably the end of the week to read through all the links that Q will be providing to us on that day's post, yesterday's post, and today's post. They're just full of links. So I don't think it's necessarily that he wants us to read every single one, but that we know what the headlines are saying, and see that this is why it's trending. All of the news, it's in all of the papers, it's in all of the media outlets. So let's go back and go to the next one. Let me shut some of this down here. It's creating too much of a drag on my... Okay, and this from The Guardian. What is QAnon? Explaining the bizarre right-wing conspiracy theory. The sprawling internet theory beloved by Trump supporters has ensnared everyone from Tom Hanks to Hillary Clinton. Well, I wouldn't say it's ensnared them. Usually if you say it's ensnared them, I would think that you are talking about it's captured their attention or whatever. But of course, we do know that Hillary Clinton is a frequent topic in the Q posts. And I don't think Tom Hanks has ever been actually mentioned in Q posts, but I know people that follow Q have alluded to the fact that he is perhaps a pedophile. I don't know the man. I haven't seen the evidence against him, so I don't want to accuse him unnecessarily if that's not the case, but that is what some people say. And here, of course, is Roseanne, and she looks wonderful there, I think. I think she has a lot of courage to take the stand that she has. Now, let's go back and see some of the other headlines. And this one is the alternate reality, QAnon, the alternate reality that was front and center at Trump's rally. And you're going to see that over and over again. They're all talking about Trump's rally and how, it draws these sorts of conspiracy theorists and kooks, 1 second. Had to take a drink. All right. So let's go back and see what else Q has dug up for us. Here's the Washington Post, of course. And this one says, as the bizarre QAnon group emerges, hang on, oh, it's blocked from me. I don't know. I don't know what it says because I couldn't read it before they put this giant ad there, because you have to get a subscription to the Washington Post. And that's not going to happen in my lifetime. So there you go. Let's go back. Oh, I guess we can read it here. As the bizarre QAnon group emerges, Trump rallies go from nasty to dangerous. Well, first of all, I don't think that a Trump rally has ever been nasty. I wouldn't say that it's ever been nasty, but it's ridiculous to think that it's gone from nasty to dangerous, because you've got people wearing MAGA hats and holding up Q signs. I wouldn't exactly say that makes anybody dangerous, but they think that we're a bunch of raving lunatics who have no teeth. Now, hang on here. We'll go out and look at another. And this is from Rolling Stone. As QAnon goes mainstream, Trump's rallies are turning darker. There you go. Well, that is exactly the kind of spin that I would want placed on it. Ooh, we saw a couple Q signs. The world must be ending. That's the way these people make it sound. Don't know why the letter Q scares them so much. The letters H, R, C don't seem to scare them much. But Q, bad letter. All right, let's go back. I apologize for that. Okay, what is this? For heaven's sakes. All right, Daily Mail. Fans of bizarre QAnon cult show up in droves at Trump rally with signs and t-shirts promoting group spun off from Pizzagate pedophilia conspiracy theory. Oh, really? So, this bizarre QAnon cult, they show up in droves at Trump's rally, and they I don't know what to say about this, really. I really don't. And like I said, I'm not on my game tonight, but, I just don't know what to say about this. And then they have to say, okay, so they're there with signs and t-shirts. Do you see anything strange with that? People show up at rallies with, t-shirts and carrying signs all the time. It's just because it says Q, so they think that we're, a cult of millions that, are like zombies and going around and eating people's brains. I don't know. No, actually, that's what they're doing. Anyway, so, and they're claiming that it's spun off from Pizzagate and just craziness. Followers of the online conspiracy were seen in the audience at President Trump's Tampa rally. Oh no, they were waving signs and wearing t-shirts. Oh my gosh, call in the FBI. QAnon perpetuates talk of a deep state. Since when has talk been dangerous? It grew out of the Pizzagate plot. Oh, did it really now? That claimed without evidence top Democrats were running a pedophilia ring. Trump did not acknowledge the group or its followers in his remarks, but actually he did. Maybe not in his remarks, but he did point to the person with the cutout of the Q and say what looked to me to be either thank you or thank Q. It was one or the other. So Trump did acknowledge them. He has talked about a deep state and conspiracies in the past. Yes, he has. So there you go. That's another headline out there. Now, let's go down to the next one. See what foolishness they've reported on. Oh, unhinged conservative conspiracy theory goes mainstream at Trump's Tampa rally. QAnon has arrived. Welcome to the hellscape. These people are much too melodramatic, don't you think? Much too melodramatic. Yeah, so anyway, if there were any doubts the QAnon conspiracy has gone fully mainstream, Trump's rally in Tampa Tuesday put an end to them. Supporters of the pro-Trump far-right theory were clearly visible both in the lines outside the rally and inside the exposition hall. They carried signs, not signs, yes, signs. They carried signs demanding answers to debunked conspiracy theories, joined regular Trump supporters in heckling the media, and proudly rocked QAnon t-shirts and hats. Oh my gosh, not t-shirts and hats. Oh my gosh, I don't know how this is legal. Because what's a conspiracy theory without someone being able to profit off it? Right. Well, that's not really the whole oh, well, here are some pictures that actually turned up on in yesterday's post. So there you go. All right, and then of course they have to compare it to the Pizzagate conspiracy because it's the same thing. It's the same people. It's all came out of the same place, and it's all just craziness. And oh my gosh, the followers of these people who believe in like Pizzagate and things like that, well, like they wear t-shirts and hats and carry signs. My gosh, save us from the queues. All right, I'm going back now. Oh my gosh, how many of these are there? And notice how they all kind of say the same thing, because as if they're all getting their news, maybe from the same source, but that could never be. What is QAnon? Conspiracy theorists showed up to support Trump at Tampa rally. Is there a deep state in the U.S.? I don't know. Why don't you ask the deep state? Sorry, I'm slurping water. And I do apologize, but, what do you do? All right. Now, where was that? Oh, that was only Newsweek. Then we're only there. But these were given to us by Q, so we should look at them, at least. Not read them all, but look at them. Trump's Tampa rally was full of insane conspiracy theorists. Oh my gosh, I bet you they were wearing t-shirts and carrying signs. They may even been wearing hats. They're the worst. Yes. And what else? I mean, these people all have the exact same things to say about Trump, and it's actually getting a little bit comical if it weren't so sad. Daily Beast senior editor Andrew Kirill posted screenshots of these signs on Twitter. Yes, because we all have to be on the lookout for anyone carrying signs. They may be terrorists. Along with a link to the Daily Beast story about the absolute bonkers right-wing conspiracy theory known as QAnon. See, They had to get pictures of the sign, those dangerous, dangerous signs, and these people wearing Q. It's terrible. It's terrible. Anyway, let's go back and see what other little nuggets that Q has provided for us. Trump rally attendee holds up sign linked to conspiracy theory. Like, what are these people, like, it must be slow news day or news week or something, I don't know, but seriously, they're all reporting on this? All of them? Kind of almost makes you think that they do get their talking points from the same place. I don't know. It's what Q said. All right. An attendee at President Trump's rally in Florida Tuesday night held up a sign promoting the QAnon right-wing conspiracy theory. Video from the rally shows an attendee near the front of the crowd raising a sign reading, "We are Q," apparently in reference to the QAnon conspiracy. The sign was visible on live streams of the Tampa, Florida rally. Oh my gosh. Imagine that sign being live on the feed. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The QAnon theory spawned from an anonymous user on online message boards, 4chan and 8chan, claiming to be a high-level government official with Q security clearance. Now, Q has never said that claimed to be a high-level government official with Q security clearance. It is just that that is what was surmised by the things that he said. But he, she, they, it is a group of people. Now, whether there's probably one person that leads the team, but I'm quite convinced that it is a team. Anyway, I'm always interested to see where they think it started, because they usually never get that right. So this is pretty close on to where it started. Now, let's go back. And YouTube under fire for allowing conspiracy theories on A-list celebrity public figures. So here's Tom Hanks, alleged sex slave, speaks out. Pizzagate, QAnon. Breaking, did Tom Hanks out Hollywood? Plus, Hollywood insider Isaac Cappy dropping names. And Sarah Ruth Ashcraft says Tom Hanks is a pedophile, the man with one red shoe. Anyway, so there's that. And here's our favorite, CNN. Man, that Jim Acosta's a crybaby. They need to call him a wambulance. Okay, that was a bad joke. I know, it was a very bad joke. All right. CNN, how a right-wing conspiracy is going mainstream. Poor Jim Acosta, everybody, at the rally they were saying CNN sucks. He didn't like that very much. It's true, but he just didn't like it. All right, we can get rid of him and go back here. And let's pick up on this last one. And MSNBC's Hallie Jackson holds insane segment on QAnon conspiracy theories. Pizzagate on bath salts. Pizzagate on bath salts. Interesting. So MSNBC's Hallie Jackson used a portion of her Wednesday show to hold an informative segment about QAnon, the wacky online conspiracy theory that has a very conspicuous presence at President Donald Trump's rally last night. Anyway, we're not going to go through all that, because I'm telling you, all of these articles say basically the same thing. It's like they threw it in one of those, if you're posting a lot of things online and you can actually, so that you're not posting the same thing, there's actually a program that you feed this into, and it changes the words around, and you can then send it. Then it's like one story worded differently, sent to everyone. And I swear that's what they do. I swear they write one story and then they put it into something and it scrambles it all around so that every single media has a different story with the exact same content. Now, I'm sure they don't do that, but that's the way it seems to me, because it's like the same words over and over and over again. And, usually they're around the same size. They contain the same sort of paragraphs. I mean, they're very, very similar anyway, except some are better written than others. All right, let's go back. Now, so after all this, the thing that's in common with all of those links that he provided is that it's either about Trump's rally or it's about QAnon and how it's spreading. But it was I think that is the first time that it's come to the public's attention, or that it's been brought to the public's attention by the mainstream media. And of course, they're trying to control the narrative. They don't want people to think anything positive of Q, so they have to control the narrative, get on it, because now people have seen it at the rally that many people were watching live. So they had to do something. So they jump on, and I'm sure they were told. They write stories about how crazy Q is and how stupid his followers are and uneducated and toothless. Yes, there are stories like that out there. So let's go on to what Q has to say next in this particular post. He says Twitter, and then he has it today, meaning as in just today, releases ban. Now, of course, we've got the question mark there as if he's asking us a question, but he's not. He's telling us something, as is often the way with Q. Now, they did release bans that day on the shadow banning and all that of the conservative voices and Q and all that. Now, why would they do that? Well, they've just seen Q live. I mean, they've seen the signs and the T-shirts and the hats and everything. They're looking at it live. The mainstream media says, okay, we've got to let people know how crazy this is, and that it's a conspiracy theory, and it's just like Pizzagate, and it's all been debunked, and we'll let them know that. And just to show people how many people are really into this, we'll release the ban so that all they keep getting is, they'll be able to see it for themselves. Because if they banned all the conservative voices, people will be on their Twitter or whatever, and they'll say, I don't know, I've never seen any of this stuff anywhere. But it's like all of a sudden they're going to realize, because they released that ban, oh yeah, it's everywhere, right? But the ban is right back on again. So it had to be that was the reason. It had to be, because why would they put the ban right back on then? Why would they release it for a day and then put it back on? That doesn't make sense. So Q is answering his own question here. Was Twitter told by the mainstream media to demonstrate impact? Yes, exactly. Twitter was told to release the ban so that all this stuff is in the mainstream media, and then suddenly people are seeing it in their Twitter feeds. And they're going, oh my gosh, man, this stuff's everywhere. So that's exactly what happened. And then Q says, do you think they got the 4 a.m. memo? Oh, yes, they got the 4 a.m. memo. And we know what that is. That's the memo that comes down to all the news media that tells them what their talking points will be for the day and how to spin it. Coincidence? All for a conspiracy? Enjoy the show. Q. So Q's saying, you think that's a coincidence that they released it the same day? Do you think it's a coincidence that all of the media is writing about it and saying basically the same thing? Think that's a coincidence? And he's saying, you think if it was a conspiracy, would they do that? If it was just a conspiracy? No. No, they sure wouldn't. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Now, he's referencing his own post there that we just read. And below it, he says, you are now mainstream. You, meaning us, all of us that either keep up with the boards or do research on it, or have YouTube channels or do videos on it, or whatever, or you who are following it, you who are interested in it. That's who he's talking about. You are now mainstream. Handle with care the Great Awakening. Where we go one, we go all. Q. Now, when he says handle with care, there's going to be a little bit more explanation of that. But I think what he's saying is, don't tell people that you believe in Q and then behave like a jerk, because then, it brings a bad name on the whole movement. And also handle with care how much, when somebody is just getting red-pilled, it's way too much information. So you have to kind of take it in small steps. You can't inform everybody about every conspiracy on Earth in, 12 hours or even a week or a month. I've had friends that I've had to just slowly, I'll tell them about one thing and then I'll say, boy, you know what? If you think that's bad, this is what they're doing to our food. Oh, and if you think that's bad, this is what they're spraying in the sky. And it's like slowly but surely their eyes are open. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you are a Q veteran and a newbie comes in or is around or is asking you questions, don't give them Q, but give it in little bits that they can handle. And I'm not meaning that like they're stupid, because I don't mean that at all. I mean that this stuff is hard at first. It is very hard because I'm sure you realized when you started getting your eyes open and it's like you research one thing and it leads to like 100 more. And that 100 leads to 1,000 and so on until you realize, you know what, I'm never going to get to the bottom of all this stuff. Anyway. Now, here's a post, and this Anon said, finally, somebody or someone asked about Q. And they did. They did at the press briefing. Someone in the press pool asked about Q. And below, so Q makes reference to this and then acknowledges what this person has said and says, who is the one person who can answer? POTUS, less than 10, Q. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but way back now, I think this was right near the beginning when Q started to post, he said there are less than 10 people who know who I am. Or there's less than 10 people who know who Q is. So, and I think of them, if I'm not mistaken, most were military. But I think up here somewhere he does make reference to who they are. Like military or whatever. All right, Q. Then down here, he says worldwide. Tracking 52 to 58 millimeters. And then you didn't think common sense was simply a coincidence, did you? Think email. Think 1776. How did we know an article was going to be dropped later that night? Now, I think what he's talking here is, I'm not sure what he's talking about here. Worldwide, eyes on 300 to 350 millimeters. And then tracking, they're tracking really very close, and actually that's quite, well, I guess I'm thinking camera range. I'm not sure. If anyone knows for a fact what he is meaning by this, Q, then please put it in the comments below. I think, you know, obviously WW would be worldwide, I believe. And here, this is referring to the post that we went over yesterday, where it was post number 1776, and we have the president's pen that he uses to sign executive orders. We have his signature, and then below it, it says number 1776. And Q is saying, but how did we know an article was going to be dropped later that night? Well, I don't know. They know. All right, so let's go on. All right, and then Q makes reference to this old post from November. Okay, yep, this is the one that I was talking about. This is from November 2nd, and this is an anon. Well, that's odd. ID, because this definitely was a Q post. You can count the people who have the full picture on 2 hands. Of those, less than 10 people, only 3 are non-military. Why is this relevant? Game theory. Outside of a potential operator who has been dialed in with orders specific to his/her mission, nobody else has this information. Operators never divulge. Alice in Wonderland. So he's saying you can count the people on 2 hands that have the full picture, and only 3 of those are non-military. 10 people, 7 are military, 3 are non-military. And I'm sure Donald Trump obviously is one of the non-military. I'm sure Melania, maybe. I don't know if he's shared everything with Melania or not. But one is definitely Trump. I would assume Pence would know, but we don't know. We don't know who knows. So there you go. And then below that, it says mainstream is when you are now the news. Mainstream equals, or is when, or equals when a White House pool reporter asks about you. Mainstream equals when coordinated attacks, waves against you continue to occur. Game theory. Q. Yeah. So the movement is now mainstream. People know about it. It's out. And that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. Because literally a few months ago, I mean, look at back in October when this began. That's not that long ago, if you think about it. And now look how many people know about Q. And it used to be there was just a few, and a whole bunch of other people saying it was crazy. It was a LARP. It was some kid in their basement. But of course we know that isn't true. So now Q is saying this is sample 3. Let's take a look at this. Probably going to be more of the same. What is QAnon? Explaining the internet conspiracy theory that showed up at a Trump rally. Hate that. When the conspiracy theories just show up out of nowhere. Probably didn't even, make a reservation. Showed up out of nowhere. Those dang conspiracy theories. Hate that. All right. Let's look at this. QAnon, the conspiracy theory explained. after Q posters spotted at Trump's Florida rally. Boy, they sound a lot alike, don't they? Almost as if... No. Couldn't be that. Let's go back. Oh, let's look at this. This is heavy.com, whatever that is. Heavy. Watch. Sarah Sanders asked about QAnon at press briefing. Actually, I would like to see that, but I bet you they don't have the video. Oh, I bet you it's here. Now I think I would like to hear that.
Two quickies about last night in Tampa. First of all, does the president encourage the support of people who showed up last night in these QAnon and Blacks for Trump fringe groups? And secondly, is the White House willing to say right now, in view of what happened with one of our TV colleagues last night, that it is wrong for his most vocal supporters to be menacing toward journalists doing their jobs in a situation like that or in any situation?
On the first part, the president condemns and denounces any group that would incite violence against another individual, and certainly doesn't support groups that would promote that type of behavior. We've been clear about that a number of times since the beginning of the administration. On the second part of your question, the president, as I just said, does not support violence against anyone or anything, and we've been very clear every single time we've been asked about that. When it comes to the media, the president does think that the media holds a responsibility. We fully support a free press, but there also comes a high level of responsibility with that. The media routinely reports on classified information and government secrets that put lives in danger and risk valuable national security tools. This has happened both in our administration and in past administrations. One of the worst cases was the reporting on the U.S. ability to listen to Osama bin Laden's satellite phone in the late 90s. Because of that reporting, he stopped using that phone and the country lost valuable intelligence. Unfortunately, it's now standard to abandon common sense ethical practices. This is a two-way street. We certainly support a free press. We certainly condemn violence.
I don't think that we need to go on there, but I think it's interesting because there was 3 parts of that question. She answered the first, no problem, completely serious. When she started to talk about the second, did you see the grin on her face? It happened a couple times. And I noticed that. And I think that it's because she knows full well that it's true. And she handled that like a boss because she didn't say, no, we don't even know anything about this conspiracy or anything. She just said, we discourage groups from violence. But of course, that's not what QAnon is about. So just interesting. She handled that very, very well. She's done a very good job under a great deal of pressure. At least that's my opinion. Now, let's look at the last one here. Go deeper. The QAnon conspiracy theory showed up at a Trump rally. My gosh, they all take the exact same headlines, really. And there's Jim Costa, of course. And people are upset with him. And of course, I saw him whining on Twitter about all sorts of things. And I don't feel bad for him at all. I think he is rude and obnoxious, and I think that actually saying CNN sucks is a heck of a lot tamer than what many people would want to say to him. So there you are. Now, so again, Q is showing us the great deal of coordination and cooperation, amongst all the media outlets. And he's saying MSM coordination. Well, he's already told us that so many times in the past that yes, it's all coordinated. They get their drop at 4 a.m. and they're told what to talk about for the day. And I have no reason to disbelieve it because I've seen it we just saw it. It's just been demonstrated to us. So there you go. Now, Q says pre-planning has its advantages. Q. All right. Now, and here he's making reference to the same post, and he's adding beneath. Did you notice the Fox News coverage of QAnon last night? Targeted? Why isn't Fox News part of the mainstream media coordinated blitz attack? Logical thinking. POTUS. Q. Well, yeah, I think that, Fox News has certainly not been the ones attacking all of this, at all. I mean, maybe they began at first. I don't know, because I really don't watch much mainstream media news. I just don't. So let's go on. Oh, I thought this was interesting. Okay. Q here says, what happens when you are a threat to the mainstream media / old guard? Well, this is what happens, I guess. Yep. New. Reddit announces data breach that threatens anonymity of users. Many Reddit users choose to remain anonymous on the website in order to freely discuss controversial topics or post salacious pictures. Well, and then we have NBC News telling us Reddit announces data breach that threatens anonymity. Now, of course, that would be of concern to anons, right? Because they don't want to be, they don't want their names out there, because we are discussing sensitive topics that upset many people. So anonymity is important. So this is just a scare tactic, and it's meant to scare those of us that frequent these boards, that our identity might not be as secure as we would like it to be. But I'm not so sure that I believe their fear tactic, because that's what I believe it is. It's just meant to, kind of give us pause for reflection on, well, maybe I shouldn't post there. All right. So now this I grabbed from my Twitter feed, because I thought that you might like it. MSN scared. Control lost. Message not reaching sheeps. Attempt to dox anons being made. Funny. We care not. We are the media now. What happens when you are a threat to the MSN old guard? Well, and he's obviously quoting Q's drop right here. And NBC News, Reddit announces data breach. So that is how this user responded to that, and I thought it was good. Yeah, they're scared. They have lost control, and the message is not getting through. So what they're doing is, okay, well, maybe if we threaten to out these anons, maybe they won't want to, be posting this stuff. Well, most of us don't care. I mean, I use my name on my channel. I don't care. I'll tell you what I believe and what I don't believe, and I'm not afraid to do that. There are certain things that I would not discuss for reasons of safety, but I don't think a lot of the anons really care. I think that they're passionate about what they believe and would do so whether it was under the name of an anon or not. Now, look at this. This is from David Rothschild. To ensure the limited spread of fake news and outlandish conspiracy theories, I'm calling on a full audit of 4chan.org by the FCC. Oh, my. These people are used to getting what they want with their money. And, it's ridiculous. I guess free speech scares them, because that's what the chants stand for. They don't shadow ban and do all that stuff and ban people because they don't agree with how they think. But these people obviously do. All right. Now, let's go up here. Okay, I'll put that in there. Sorry, talking to myself. Well, it's because you all won't talk to me. I listen sometimes. I listen for you, but I don't hear you. Okay, here's the next. And Q posts this he's making reference to this post by an anon saying Juan on Fox talking about Q at rally. And then Q says, right after we mentioned Fox News, what a coincidence. Fishing is fun. Q. I think that's pretty self-explanatory there. Now, okay, here we go. I had to acquaint myself with why I had put that in there. Now, this is the next one, and it is August 1st still. We're on, and it's 23:36, so it's like at 11:36 at night, August 1st. That would have been last night. And Q says, FISA, 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 20. 20 is bolded and in the little kill brackets, so to speak. Public disclosure, impossible to defend, illegal. Mainstream media. And what he's saying is, this is our message to mainstream media, or this is what we believe in regards to the mainstream media. Never interfere with an enemy while he's in the process of destroying himself. Q. You gotta love that. I've heard that saying before, but it's good. So he's saying FISA, 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 and I do believe that this 20 has to do with the FISA. There are 20 pages that need to be unredacted rather. And that seems to make sense because the next thing he says is public disclosure. We need public disclosure, and he's saying impossible to defend. I guess I would assume that what he is saying here is it's impossible to defend the reason that it's redacted. That's what I'm assuming he's saying. And he's saying illegal. And then he says in reference to the mainstream media, never interfere with an enemy while he's in the process of destroying himself. Q. And that's what they're doing. They're destroying themselves. And they're doing a very good job. I mean, CNN's ratings have completely tanked. Completely tanked. All right, now I wanted to, in reference to the 20, I found this and I thought this could be a good theory too. In 1852, a biographical magazine also quotes Napoleon giving advice to his marshals. Then, gentlemen, said Napoleon, let us wait a little while your enemy is executing a false movement. Never interrupt him. An 1836 multi-volume history book entitled French Revolution contains a version of the quotation that is similar to the one given in 1852. The history book dates the quotation to a battle in 1805. These words may have been transformed into the modern maxim. In that case, said Napoleon, let us wait 20 minutes while the enemy is making a false movement. We must take good care not to interrupt him. So it's interesting that in this, we've got both the 20. He told them, let us wait 20 minutes because their enemy was making a false move. And he says, well, they're making a false move. We don't want to interrupt them while they're doing that. So let's, hang on for 20 minutes. Now, that could be where that 20 came from, up above. Let's wait 20 minutes. Never interfere with an enemy while he's in the process of destroying himself. Or it could be, these are the 20 pages we want unredacted. There are 20 pages that we're targeting. They need to be unredacted. I could go with either one of those, so I don't know. It's probably one or the other, though, the meaning behind that. All right, now this is something I found, and I did allude to it earlier, but you've got to see it. I hear the FBI is now investigating the letter Q. But they skipped right over investigating HRC, but that's none of my business. One of the best memes I've seen in a long time. And I thought there was one, yes, and this is interesting as well. Right here. Now, I know it's small. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger for you. Okay. Now, all right. So here is Q post from July 31st. It says the world is about to change. Q. Then down here, on 8/1/2018, so the next day, this was written at 1903, and this was at 7 a.m., so they're not that far apart, really. The United States Space Force tweets, the world is about to change. If Q is a made-up conspiracy, how does Q post, the world is about to change, 7/31/18 at 7:03 p.m., then Trump's Space Force posts, the world is about to change at 8/1/18 at 7:33 a.m. Coincidence? Well, according to Q, there are none. Not as far as this stuff goes anyway. So I do believe that has brought us up to date, brought us up to today's, if I'm not mistaken. That was him posting a new, let me come up. Yes, so I'm going to end there, and I'm going to do a new video for today's post, August 2nd. And we're going to wrap it up there because I know that when the videos get too long, people tend, their eyes tend to roll back in their head and their tongues hang out. And I don't want to be responsible for anyone's death or, Anyway, that's it for now. I hope that you continue enjoying your evening and you stay safe. How do I turn it off? Here it is.